Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I am Dylan.
And I'm Vinny.
And oh man, this Activision Microsoft deal is running into some issues, all right? Whether you're a gamer, whether you're in it for the money, I'm more the money, but we have some problems. We're going to take a look at it. The CEO came out and said some stuff. So
Two Super Guys Trade Stocks.
all right. So, what happened? Actually, let me go. Here's the thing. So the CEO went on, I believe it was CNBC, and addressed some concerns from the FTC and the CMA. Are you familiar with the CMA?
Is that the British regulator? Because I saw
the-
that the British
yeah.
regulator
Just-
moved against this deal as well.
UK FTC. All right. Before we go into all the responses, I have everything, by the way. I have the response to his video, their response, and then their response back. This is kind of becoming a nightmare, but
Yeah.
it is quite interesting. So,
Simple video game acquisition,
If
and all of a sudden
Microsoft
everyone's
is
involved.
allowed to go ahead and purchase.
oh, before we play this, all they were talking about this before this is how he mentioned that the industry is moving towards phones and how, instead of console wars, it's becoming Apple and Android. That's all. Skip a minute.
Okay.
This is the CEO of Activision Blizzard.
If Microsoft is allowed to go ahead and purchase Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, look, I think there haven't been any transactions. So whether it's the FTC or the CMA or the EU, they don't know our industry. So they're trying to come up to speed and understand the industry better. I don't think they fully appreciate that it's a free-to-play business, that the Japanese and Chinese companies dominate the industry. You look at Sony, you look at Nintendo, they have these huge libraries of intellectual property. Sony is Sony Studios, it goes back, 80 years. Nintendo has the very best characters that exist in video games. And I think they are a little bit confused about where competition is today. The best companies in the world right now are companies like Tencent and ByteDance. And these are companies that all have protected markets. We've struggled to enter the Japanese market. We can't enter the Chinese market without a joint venture partner. And so the competition actually isn't European companies, American companies. It's really those companies in Japan and China.
The New York Times had a story this week, though, questioning whether UK regulators would actually allow this to go through. And the big deal on this is if the CMA in the UK says no, there isn't an appeals process like there is in the United States. With the FTC,
That's huge.
Microsoft can go ahead and say, we'll take this to court, and they may actually win. If the CMA in the UK says no, that may be the end of the line.
Well, you look at the UK and you think about the post-Brexit UK, it's probably the first country where you're seeing a recession.
Got about 30 more
Like
seconds.
the real severe consequences of recession. If you're the UK and you have an incredibly educated workforce, you have a lot of technical talent, places like Cambridge where the best AI and machine learning is, I would think you'd want to embrace a transaction like this where you're going to see job creation and opportunity.
Of course you do, though.
And it really isn't at all about whether it's Sony or Microsoft's platform. It's really about the future of technology. And they've said now for last year, I think Rishi Sunak has said they'd like to be the Silicon Valley of Europe or of the continent. And if
Here it is.
deals like this can't get through, they're not going to be Silicon Valley. They'll be Death Valley.
That was a major shot fired right there at the end, huh? Damn.
Yeah, so basically he's calling them out for not knowing the industry because they did not like their whole 10-year thing, all right?
Okay.
Let's get into it. So I don't want to go into old information. Then that's kind of a waste of time. There's so many videos on it. So, everyone already knows Microsoft agreed to not change the status for COD in terms of Sony access and offered a 10-year commitment, right? That's it.
Okay.
Won't go into all the price and crap. So
Yeah.
here's the issue, okay? So the United Kingdom Competition and Market Authority, CMA, does not like that Microsoft proposed compromise as it requires enforcement and monitoring, and instead proposed 4 possible solutions. They also don't like it for another reason that Microsoft did with Bethesda, which we're going to talk about.
Okay.
One of their proposed solutions: sell the business associated with COD, or divestiture of business associated with COD. That's crazy for
Wow.
non-gamers. People associate Activision, Call of Duty, and Blizzard, Warcraft, World of Warcraft. There's a lot more than that, but for our purposes, we'll
Yeah.
just do that.
The major brands, yeah.
Divestiture of Activision segment from Activision Blizzard. Same thing, but Blizzard.
Okay.
Cancel the deal.
Or something. Wow. They think that franchise is literally that important. That's amazing.
So it is. It is that important. And we also have stats to show that. But essentially, they're not interested in behavior regulation, but structural regulation. Okay? Which is going to be a problem. Here's the response from Microsoft. Okay, this is from Kotaku. These are provisional findings, which means the CMA sets forth its concerns in writing, and both parties have the chance to respond. Okay, so Joseph Christinat, he said, we hope between now and April, we will be able to help the CMA better understand our industry to ensure they can achieve their stated mandate to promote an environment where people can be confident they are getting great choices and fair deals, where competitive. Fair dealing business can innovate and thrive, and where the whole UK economy can grow productively and sustainably. So basically, he just didn't say anything. Okay?
Yeah, that was a bunch of
A lot of
bullshit.
crap. A lot of crap. Okay? Now, here's the issue. All right? This is a big problem. Microsoft claims it won't make COD exclusive as it wouldn't make financial sense. Okay? Here's what the CMA said. Also, back in the day, Microsoft bought Bethesda. They also promised that they wouldn't make things exclusive. And for all you Elder Scrolls fans or Fallout fans, I mean, I'm a massive Oblivion, Skyrim, sometimes Morrowind guy. They definitely went back on their word. So
Wow,
the
great.
big game, Starfield, that's coming out this year, which I just had a child, but I'm still going to figure out how to play it. I just won't sleep. So in every instance, console exclusivity appears to be at the heart of regulators' concern. It doesn't help that one of the most anticipated blockbusters was originally multi-platform game before they bought it and made it exclusive. Kind of said they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that looks that doesn't look great. Really coming back to bite him in the butt right now.
So it wasn't as big of a deal. Okay, it wasn't Call of Duty. It doesn't make as much money as Call of Duty. I mean, Skyrim's been released like 8 times, but it wasn't so much a part of the actual acceptance of the deal. They just kind of said it. All right. Now, here's where they did their homework. So the argument against Microsoft saying it wouldn't be profitable. CMA, they found that this calculation on its own was broadly neutral in terms of profitability. The other model considered data used by Xbox in the ordinary course of business on the lifetime value of new customers. This has the benefit of accounting for 5 years of spend on the Xbox platform on COD. This model, which they believe is a better way to estimate long-term financial incentives, suggests that it actually would be profitable, which is why they're so scared. They even followed that up with a survey showing 24%, 1 in 4 players would leave PlayStation. That is huge. That is way higher than I would have thought. That's kind of outrageous, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's wild.
they did their homework.
They did their homework. I did not think 1 in 4 people would leave. So they then came back. We are committed to offering effective and easily enforceable solutions that address the CMA's concerns. They're really just saying that they're not really worried about it. 75% of response to the CMA's public consultation agree that this deal is good for gaming. Okay? There's a bit of a timeline problem, and you heard the lady said they don't have the same appeals process as us. That's huge. Okay? So it's supposed to be June of this year. Microsoft has till March to submit a rebuttal. Now, remember that rebuttal, the CMA's wanted the rebuttal to be, hey, we're just going to sell off Activision. That's a big rebuttal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, the final argument's on April 26th, and it is important to note that Microsoft already accounts for 60 to 70% of cloud gaming on the global market. The CEO did not talk about that part.
Yeah. Pretty fascinating.
I feel less confident about this deal happening.
Okay. I get that impression as well. That's appropriate, which definitely hurts a little bit. You still in your arbitrage trade?
I'm still in Microsoft. Sorry, not Microsoft. Activision Blizzard. Here's why I won't be mad if it doesn't happen. They had a pretty decent quarter. The numbers weren't super awesome in some ways, but in some ways they were. So I still like them at $76. I would like them more at 58, if we're being honest. But
Yeah.
I could just sell covered calls, get my cash back until it goes. It's not a big deal. It's not like a huge loss. I don't want to buy more. Let's go with that.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Understood.
it's heating up and time is coming down. If the UK does this, it's likely the entire deal falls apart because they lose the entire market.
Yeah, that's really tough with like so many different regulators need to be appeased, and especially since like they're one and done processes. Because I don't know if you saw the news, I think it was last week or the week before, that remember Meta's acquisition of a fitness VR app that got struck down by the FTC, like a little like a $400 million acquisition or something like that.
Didn't they get it?
Well, they took it to court and Meta won.
Yeah. So the striking down did not hold up, and now that's where this could be weird because you don't get multiple tries.
No.
I don't think it's realistic to sell off part Activision or part Blizzard and pay $69 billion. I would assume the price would have to change too. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Significantly. Yeah. I know. It doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy. I was expecting some pushback, but once you kind of had that data point where they went through, their analysis of how it would actually be long-term profitable for Microsoft to, split off and control access to it potentially, and a decent survey of people that would be, a quarter of participants being willing to switch services.
Yeah, and now that's
those are real
5
numbers.
years of spend. 5 years or 5 to 10 years of spending on Xbox. That's way more than a $60 game. That is a absolute shit ton. Let alone buying the consoles. I mean, the consoles aren't super profitable, but
no, they lose money.
That's huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah, so. I would agree. All right. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below.
All right. Later, guys.